Hey, I'm Jerry with the SceneGrinder team, and I'm making this video because I was asked a question on Reddit, and I wrote this big, long answer to the question, and I thought, well, this would actually make a great video as well to answer some of the questions and put out there on our other channels. Um, so the question that I was asked was, I'm curious how this is different versus TaleSpire, and this was asked by Viviole, not pronouncing that right. But anyway, the question was, how is this different than TaleSpire? And he put a note in his question that said, not being snarky, it's a genuine question. So thank you. Here's the answer. First off, I just want to say, TaleSpire is amazing. There was a point in our development somewhere halfway through that we looked at TaleSpire and we went, wow, we kind of need to up our game visually because they just really hit the mark and they did a great job. So hats off to TaleSpire. And so to train myself to look at the lens rather than elsewhere, I had posted my Geralta Rivia bobblehead, and he just rage quit the job. So we won't do that. So the differences are SceneGrinder is web-based, and it's works in both your browser and your mobile phone. And TaleSpire is a Windows-only application. So that's one major difference. The otherwise we got the map building style for SceneGrinder is a little different. TaleSpire is a grid-based system. They do amazing stuff with it. SceneGrinder, on the hand, is a more of a free-form open system, and you can lay any grid you want over top of it of any size, including hex grids. So it's a little different model. We don't constrain your building to the actual grid slots. You can put models anywhere, buildings anywhere, turn them any which way, hallways go any direction, but you can impose a grid over top of it if you want to. Let's see what else we got. Map building style, yeah, we covered that. So the other difference is because we're web-based and the services are always available all the time, the GM's world is always there. So there's no server to set up, no network to worry about. Players can log in at any time if the GM allows them to and see or do things with the characters. And so some of the thinking that we have of that is the GM can set up a town where players kind of hang out. They can hang out between adventures and they can level up. They can run around and buy stuff from shopkeepers and go hang out in the tavern. NPCs, interactive NPCs, if they're configured, can even hand out mini quests or give the party jobs or maybe hints to upcoming adventures, that sort of thing. One example that I gave the person who posted the question is you got Grarg who bought a house maybe and it's sitting there in a town, and the player controlling Grarg can decorate it by buying stuff in the town or with items that they actually collected in the adventure with the GM, assuming the GM approves all this. So there's a little bit of a sort of a always available persistence kind of thing going on. Where we're headed with that, by the way, this isn't available yet, but where we're headed is the concept of living cities and living dungeons that just sort of carry on with their own life. Citizens go do things, interact with one another, and then the players can come along and join in. The GM can kind of take control and run a story. We wouldn't want to take away the GM's job, but we're trying to make a more interesting world, an immersive world that players and GMs can kind of jump into and move along with. We have very strong world management. Not to say that other VTDs don't, but in SceneGrinder, a world is sort of an infinite space with an unlimited number of scenes. Each scene can have its own story, and it's all kind of tied in with the overall game story. Then what do we got? We got here. I'm just kind of going down my answers. It was a long list that I wrote pretty quick. Items can be marked so that they're real, and even though they're not real items, which means that they can be picked up, they can be dropped, they can be handed off, they can be passed from character to character, and only one instance of that object exists at any one time. This means that inventory is easier to track and control, and GMs don't have to worry about, oh, so-and-so character gave some other character the magical MacGuffin widget thing, and they forgot to erase it from their character. Now there's 2 copies in the world and stuff like that. And that goes down to even the coins level if you choose to mark coins that way. So character management is much easier. You just give your equipment to somebody else, and that that other person has it. And, you know, it's just more real life that way, more lifelike that way. So there's also no technical limit on how many players could be in a world, and there's no limit to how many players could be in a scene. The only kind of limit is that too many players would drive a GM crazy after a while, but we're working on even helping them manage that. You can even have multiple parties operating in the same game world, completely different games. You can even have completely different game systems operating in the same game world. Oh yeah, and worlds can be co-authored with other GMs and players. If you have that kind of game, you can get your players to get in there and maybe help you build out a scene, or build out maybe a shared castle where everybody's living, or what have you. And then again, this is all under the GM's control. Going down my list. Really flexible template system, no coding necessary. So templates in SceneGrinder control everything. They control the game rules, they control what your character sheets look like, what items can be on a character sheet, and you can have different templates in a world for PCs, NPCs, monsters, chests, items, signs, whatever you need. And you can even mix and match those from scene to scene. So you can add a character to a scene, monsters to a scene, items to a scene, and you could even have two different game systems operating in the same scene. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you could if you wanted to. Okay, going down my list, scenes and characters, models, and buildings, they can be freely shared from player to player. And they can be sold. If you create this beautiful campaign world or a scene and you want to offer it out there for other people to use, and you put a lot of work into it, you could set your dollar amount, and people could buy that from you. If you set it for free, it's considered freely shared. All right, so then the philosophy here is we're trying to offer more than just a virtual tabletop. Other really good virtual tabletops are out there, we get it, but we're exploring that strange territory between tabletop role-playing game and a computer game. I think one of the guys down here in the comment even said it, that, wow, our video set vibes like a video game more than a tabletop RPG. Yeah, we get that, and we are deliberately exploring that new territory. And, you know, to some degree, it's a little bit of an uncanny valley. How far do you go? How much control do you take away from the GM? Our answer is none. We want to allow the GM to jump in at any time and do their thing. But at the same time, we're trying to kind of give them a little more help in the story environment and let them have large immersive worlds where characters know each other. NPCs can have relations with other characters, not those kind of relations, but bartender so-and-so knows innkeep so-and-so and employs this person, that person. There's a lot of game notes which kind of trickle down and are at the game master's disposal to either use in their story or ignore completely. So that's it. That's my very long answer to a Reddit post. I hope this was informative. And if you have any more questions, just follow up on this video, post comments, and there'll be a lot more videos to come addressing some of the concerns that some people posted. We'll try to get more information out there about all the other stuff, including the non-sexy stuff. So anyway, catch you guys later, and I hope this was good.